Why build your personal brand?
Yeah.
As always, there's a page in the book that I can turn to that completely summarises this up. But what is really interesting about someone who wants to build their personal brand, if they're a CEO or an expert or influencer type, it's sort of a business, an entrepreneur, an MD or a lead person within a business, is they normally already have one element of something that's working that they know if they build their personal brand, it will make it work more. So they might have a practice, or they might have a clinic, or they might have a business, or they might be in a particular niche, and they know that if I build my personal brand in this niche, then what I already have going for me is going to get even better, i.e. my business is going to grow a bit more, my customers are going to trust me more, my customers are going to like me more, and it's going to support this one thing, which is my business, which is great. So, if you're in a place where you already have something rolling, you want to build your personal brand to support that, then that's a really great place to be. What's also interesting is that generally around personal brands, i.e. people with influence and authority, we see that there's lots of different ways in which they eventually become monetized. So things like collaboration, physical products, as illustrated by this graph in this exceptional book. Service-based products, edutainment, speaking, books, media appearance, being able to influence and change and create change, and other opportunities. And what is interesting is that you don't know ahead of building your personal brand which ones are going to come along. And also you don't know which ones you're going to need. So one of the people I've worked with is a food blogger who wanted to build her personal brand so that she could move into online products. And when we mapped out her strategy, it was pretty clear that if she became big in this niche, family-friendly food, she'd be able to sell online products, build a tribe, build a community. She'd also be able to get on TV, and she'd be able to get a book deal. So within the time I was working with her, all that happened, and that's great, brilliant, success. What also happened is that she lives really near the Grenfell Tower, and when that fire happened about 18 months ago, she was able to mobilise her following and her authority to raise 150 grand in about 7 days for the survivors of the Grenfell Tower fire. So that is an illustration how you know there's value in your personal brand, you don't know quite how it's going to play out, and sometimes it can play out in the most unexpected and unpredictable ways, from which there's still great benefit.